But he answered and he was like, yeah, when are you free? And then I got a text saying this girl went through my phone and is about to text you. I didn't know if he was dating someone or not, but she got upset and she texted me. I'm not sure if I should talk about this part. It feels kind of disrespectful, but also that's me like thinking that it's embarrassing to be unhealed, which is not true. Actually, the texts are on my phone because she had an Android, so I might have to film this later because I'm using my phone to film. So this girl texted me asking me to stop reaching out to him. And I feel like she kind of had a dark energy. Like I felt anxiety. I felt this energy of like insecurity and toxicity and the need for control. And I really don't think it was coming from anything else because I'm not attached to this situation. I don't actually want to date him. I don't really care if we had a conversation or not. Like I feel like it would have been nice to have a conversation and to just like share my love with someone, but I wasn't really upset that it wasn't gonna happen. But I kind of just felt this energy of like anxiety, and it made me really sad that he's choosing a partner like that for himself and that he's like clearly still in these kind of toxic relationships. I don't know if I can post this or not. I don't know if it's like rude. My fear is that he would watch this and feel insecure about himself, but I guess that would maybe be the discomfort he needs to change, because we don't feel insecure about ourselves if we move past it. But then I also want to be like kind to my past selves and to the people in my life. Like I wouldn't get on here and like just shame my past self and be like she's insecure. Well, yeah, I do that, and I don't shame her for it. I just say she is insecure, and that's okay. It's not a bad thing to be insecure and to be unhealed. Okay, we're gonna do this. Alrighty, I just airdropped these texts to my computer. She said, hi, is this Briana? I said, yeah. She said, Ryan is no longer interested. Please stop bothering him. I'm using a fake name. I said, I'm not interested either. If he wants me to stop bothering him, he can tell me that. Because I just feel like he should be the one to tell me. Obviously, I'm not gonna reach out to him anymore after this. I didn't know he like had a girl and that she was gonna get upset about it. But still, it's just like weird to have someone else text me and be like, please stop bothering him. You know what I mean? And then she said, he's blocked you per my orders, which I actually don't think he did, because I texted him back when he said this girl just went through my phone and is gonna reach out to you. I said, my bad, and it did deliver. I don't know if he blocked me after that though. And then I said, okay, I hope everything works out for y'all. I wasn't trying to cause any issues, my bad. And then she said, actually, you can have him. Apologies for saying anything. I said, question mark, nothing romantic is going on between us. She said, well, whatever you have going on. I said, please don't take it out on him that I reached out. There's nothing going on between us. She said, he already lied about y'all's little taco date, so def taking it out on him, but I appreciate you letting me know. So a few months ago, yeah, I think it was like 2 months ago, we went on a sushi date and caught up. It wasn't anything romantic, but I guess this is the same girl that he was dating then. And then it kind of triggered me and upset me that she said def taking it out on him, because it just like upset me that that's like the love that he's choosing and that she sounds kind of like a bitch. And part of me wanted to respond and be like, you sound like a bitch and he deserves better, but I was like, let me wait. My Aries popped out a little bit, but I was like, let me not do that. But it just like made me sad that it sounds like she's being rude to him and he didn't do anything wrong. I'm the one that reached out to him and there's like nothing going on there. So I said, you're worthy of someone who chooses you over every other option. Why are you even stressing about non-existent competition? And tell him he deserves a peaceful relationship where he doesn't feel like he has to lie. Have a good night. I feel like I'm kind of crazy for sending that. Like people might think it's condescending. I didn't mean it in a condescending way. I was just like, I'm just gonna express myself authentically. These are my genuine thoughts on the situation. I feel bad for her that she's like insecure and doesn't choose someone who like chooses her and makes her feel secure in her relationship. And I feel bad for him that he's like with this toxic girl who is controlling and insecure. But I wanted to express it in like a loving, unconditionally loving way. And it doesn't really matter how people take it. I just want to be my authentic self and express my thoughts and be in this energy of unconditional love. And then she said, no one is stressed, just stay out his phone, bye. And that's that. So I got these texts from this girl who was clearly in this energy of like insecurity, control issues, toxicity. And it just made me feel really sad that he was choosing that for his life and that he's still choosing these like stressful, toxic relationships. Like I feel like even when we started dating like 5-6 years ago, we were never that toxic. I never went through his phone. I was never like possessive and like you can't talk to other girls or whatever, because I kind of was just in this energy of like, if you choose me, you choose me. And so it almost felt like he's like backtracking, and it made me really sad. But in reality, he's not. I think it's probably a very similar energy to the energy that I was in. But for me, my toxicity was the fact that I was like sick and neurotic and anxious all the time and having panic attacks. And like I had crazy roommates at the time that I had to get a restraining order against. And he was dealing with all of that and choosing that as his relationship. So it's not really backtracking, I don't think, but it's not the energy that I'm in now. For sure, like he's choosing a stressful situation. And it just made me feel really sad. But again, from a spiritual perspective, everything is what it's meant to be. I know everyone is who they're meant to be. Their souls chose to be having these experiences. It's not even a bad thing. It's not bad for people to suffer a little bit and have a little bit of anxiety. It's a natural part of the human experience. You know, we try to put labels on everything and we judge things with our human minds, but in reality, everything is what it's meant to be. But I also think I was meant to just have this experience of feeling that emotion and letting myself feel it. I used to choose that for myself. I used to choose to be in a state of stress. And I used to be really insecure and have control issues. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm not embarrassed of that. It doesn't make you a worse person. It doesn't make you any less worthy. The only issue is that you don't feel worthy. Like, I always notice in people, the only flaws that people have, they all come back to insecurity. And so when you're able to start seeing yourself as worthy, all of your flaws just dissipate. And of course, we never get to a point where we're just a perfect human and we never make mistakes and we never feel insecure. You're not supposed to, but there's definitely levels to it. And it's nice to work your way up the levels because it just makes life a lot better. So then I was like, all right, I love him. It makes me really sad that this is the reality he's choosing for himself. I'm going to make the conscious effort to take some of his negative energy on for the night and transmute it. And then I started feeling really anxious for hours in a way that I haven't felt in a long time, and it was really hard to eat. It wasn't that bad, like it wasn't the way that my anxiety has been sometimes, but it definitely is not something I'm used to anymore. And so I kind of just sat with that anxiety, I reflected a lot, and then I wrote this love letter to him, just that I'm not going to send because I couldn't talk to him, about how grateful I am for him and just reflecting on our good memories together and expressing how much I love and appreciate him. And so when I was writing that, I felt this overwhelming feeling of love and gratitude and just this great feeling, and my anxiety started to go away and I started to feel a lot better. And then immediately after, I checked my YouTube and I had a few comments from people that were just like expressing their love and gratitude to me. And it just felt so good and serendipitous. And I feel like we're all just like passing love around. And even if you sometimes can't give love to yourself, you can at least give it to someone else and then they can give it back to you. And then eventually you can get to a place where you can generate so much love that you can give it to a bunch of other people. And then they continue to give it back to you. And then it's like love just multiplies. Like I feel like my ex gave me love that I couldn't give to myself. I gave him love back. And then when that ended, I learned to give all that love to myself. And then I started trying to share that love on YouTube. And then now I get love back from my subscribers. And then I can pass that love around to other people and continue to generate more and more of it. Love is not like a finite resource. Like it can just keep exponentially increasing because you can turn grief and shame and every single negative emotion into love. And lately I've been embracing this idea that I am an alchemist and that I'm able to transmute energies. I feel like the universe is telling me really specific ways to transmute energies, and I'm teaching that system to people essentially. I mean, I'm probably not the only person doing something similar. I'm sure there's a lot of people who experience life in a similar way, but a lot of people don't know how to transmute energies. But you can literally turn every bad emotion, every negative experience in your life into a good thing and into love. And if you're watching my channel, that's probably part of your life purpose. That's probably what you came here to do. And it's such a beautiful and fun thing. It's funny how much better I feel after creating and expressing myself. When I started this video, I was feeling kind of anxious and grieving a lot. I've been crying for like days. I've been crying so much the past 2 days. I'm like, how are that many tears in my body? And at first it wasn't even a bad feeling when I was crying. It was kind of this feeling that was like very comforting. It almost felt like taking like a warm bath or like being under a blanket and watching a good movie. Like it was like this cozy feeling when I would think about him and cry about it. But then there were also times where I felt this grief and this, you know, this deep desire to share my abundance with him and to share my feeling of happiness with him. I also recently made this video about how I'm having these money mindset shifts. And one of the shifts that I've been trying to adopt is not planning on giving everyone my money when I get it, because I kind of have this desire to like share my wealth with everyone, and that could be blocking it from coming in for me because other people's karma is going to affect me then. And so I've been trying to like shift that mindset, and I feel like this is like very similar to that lesson in a way, because I just got all this abundance, this emotional abundance, and I just instantly want to share it with people. And I was conscious of that, and I felt that I was intuitively guided to reach out to my ex and to say that. I wouldn't have done it if I felt like the universe was telling me not to, but it felt like they were telling me to. And I basically told the universe, like, I will only give people money in abundance if you tell me to give it to them. I'm not gonna just give it to everyone that I want to give it to out of logic. I'm really gonna wait until I feel guided to do that by you. So I feel like I wasn't like going against that lesson in this scenario, but it just felt like very related to that lesson in a way. And so I think this is helping me work through the fear of success, because I think one of the fears I have is having success and not being able to share it with people, and not being able to share it with my past self, even because I feel like my ex really represents my past self. And I always try to see things in that way, like everyone's a reflection of me. So I realize that he is representing my past self in this case. And so I've kind of just been trying to like carry my past self with me and show her everything we accomplished and love her and accept her. And I feel very connected to her lately, but then she's also grieving this relationship still. So I feel like the only way out is through. Sometimes you just have to feel your emotions. And I feel like right now I just have to like feel that grief and cry. And that is also gonna help me heal my fear of success, because part of my fear of success comes from this fear of loss and change and grief. And then it's also probably healing like the past. I recently saw this post about how time like folds over itself and time doesn't happen in a linear way, and quantum entanglement and all these things. I don't know, I'm not the best at explaining these things, but I remember distinctly like asking the universe to give me success and to remove anything that was in the way. And you know, I had this fear of losing my relationship. That was like my biggest fear, and that was like the one thing that I didn't want to lose. And so it's like, I feel like I'm connecting to my past self who had that fear, and I'm helping her work through that fear by grieving that loss in this moment. I feel like the way I view things is so insane, but I hope it's helpful to someone. I feel like the universe does tell me like why things are happening and what is happening on an energetic level. And it's fun for me. I like to view the world that way, but you don't have to. And as always, I feel like the universe is giving me the answers on how to heal, how to overcome this feeling. Like, I feel like he is a reflection of me, of my past self. And I did like a meditation connecting to my past self and showing her everything that we achieved, because I felt guided to like do that and to really connect with my past self, because I realized that this longing for him to understand me and share this abundance with me was also a longing for me to share this abundance with the past me who was suffering and who chose to live a stressful life and who was insecure and unhealed. Then also I know that my loneliness will be cured by me being authentic, so I could probably tell this weird ass story to people in my life even though I think they won't understand me. I just know that I can give myself every single feeling that I need and want, and I don't actually need anything from him. It was never really coming from a place of needing anything from him anymore. I think that sometimes I have this desire just to be witnessed, and that's probably just like a natural human desire. Like, we just want people to witness us. But again, you can just be authentic and then you will fulfill that desire. It just felt like the universe told me a lot of different ways to heal this feeling and to overcome it. But I also had this feeling that I'm meant to just sit with this grief right now and just feel it, because that's how I'm healing certain aspects of myself. And then I can move into the place of like seeing everything from a higher perspective and applying all these spiritual concepts that help me. But there's just a version of me right now that just wants what she wants and feels sad, and I have to just honor that version of me for now. And it actually feels bad when I try to escape the present and escape what I'm feeling. Like, it really feels bad when I try to distract myself or when I try to not feel that way. Like, a lot of times I'm feeling like so much love for him and romanticizing the situation, and then if I try to like see it in a negative light and see it for what it is, it feels bad. So I kind of feel like my emotions are very much guiding me to what I'm meant to be doing right now, and it's very clear to me what feels good. Literally what feels good is crying and like just sitting with my thoughts. And when I do that, I feel like relief and I feel pleasure almost. But when I try to like escape it, then I feel a lot of discomfort and pain. I hope this isn't too dark. But yeah, I'm just really trying to act from this place of unconditional love. I can't remember the other downloads they gave me about the ways to heal this. I have them all written somewhere. I've just been getting an insane amount of downloads and information about the situation, so I'm sure I didn't even cover most of it in this video, but I trust that whatever was meant to come out came out. And I know there might be some people who are like, you shouldn't just sit in this emotion and be upset, like you should just focus on how amazing your life is now and all the good things in your life. But I can tell that I'm literally just meant to be experiencing this in order to help heal some of the fears that I have that are holding me back from the next level of my life. And I know that one day I won't even care if he's experiencing this feeling or not. I know that everything passes, everything's temporary, but like that feeling doesn't necessarily feel good right now because I'm just meant to feel what I feel and to really experience my emotions. But yeah, I think that I'm meant to, you know, bring this feeling to people and to share this feeling with as many people as possible through YouTube and through expression. And there's a reason that I have this desire and this longing, and I'm meant to pursue that. But I don't feel incomplete without it most of the time. I just had this like moment of, you know, wanting it, grieving it. It's crazy how much better I feel after filming this video. Wow. Expression is literally the cure to everything, y'all. Yeah, I think I'm just supposed to stay in this energy of unconditional love and just stay in the highest vibration that I can possibly stay in, even if other people don't understand it and misinterpret it or whatever. The best thing that I can do for the world is to stay in this vibration and just to be myself and to express myself authentically.